Good morning and welcome to Friday with the Rev. I'm Greg Johnson. I'm the president and CEO of GJP International, and I have the privilege of being the chief advisor to the CEO of Emblem Health here in New York City for family caregiving. It's wonderful to be with you this morning and to be back, as you can tell, here in New York City. It was a wonderful long flight, and I must admit, this is one of the first times that doing this broadcast seems like I'm doing it at noon. But you know, jet lag can do that to you. It's wonderful to be with each and every one of you, and I want to thank you, all of the people who joined us from all over the world. Last week in Bali, when we were all together, it was marvelous. You met Donnie, and you also had the opportunity of being joined by people from the Aging in Nepal group and a new group of people who joined us from Bhutan. As I was speaking, all of a sudden I saw greetings from Bhutan, and I have since written and made contact with them. In fact, sent them some information on caregiving. It is without question family caregiving, or carers as we're known worldwide, that unite us in love and unite us in our oneness. Oneness as children of the divine, whatever word you might like to use for that. We are united in that love. And love is probably the best world. The mystics have known that for a very long time. Now, this morning's broadcast, I've entitled it, Remembering Those on Whose Shoulders We Stand. And that will become evident to you as we go through. But this morning, I do want to begin by thanking the Yayasan Sunyam in Bali. That is the folks to whom we brought the quilts, and we showed those to you. I had a lovely meeting with them. Their work continues. It's amazing. I met with the board of directors. It is so powerful. A group of people caring, taking on a very specific need, and coming together as carers in Indonesia. I also met with the people at the Lighthouse in Bali, and I just want to speak of it for a moment. As you all know, I have been a very grateful member of Alcoholics Anonymous for a very long time, and have watched the program grow and grow in Asia, particularly in Bali, where we have meetings every day. The Lighthouse is an organization that was begun by a very dear friend of mine that deals with recovery. And they are doing some extraordinarily wonderful work. And I would urge you, if you're in Bali, to certainly join them on February 20th when they're having a special gala to begin a rehab, a free rehab for women who are addicted in Indonesia. It's wonderful work once again. I also want to remind you of Father Richard Rohr. He is a wonderful source. You hear me speak of him frequently. And his daily email can be found at CAC, Center for Action and Contemplation, cac.org. And it, too, is a wonderful tool. I've had many of you write to me thanking me for introducing you, just as I thanked Sister Carol Perry for introducing me to Father Richard Rohr. I've been blessed by this. And finally, I want to share with you another source of support, of brilliance, the wonderful Reverend Dr. Barbara Cawthorn Crafton has moved out to Colorado, actually, in Boulder. But she has discovered Facebook, and I shouldn't say discovered Facebook. She's been on that for a very long time, but she's doing Facebook Live. And like me, we are both persons who are challenged with technology, but we are overcoming it, and we're here for you. Barbara is doing some wonderful, wonderful work, and I would urge you to be blessed by the presentations that she's doing. She can be found through the Geranium Farm. That's her ministry or outreach on the Facebook. So go to the Geranium Farm, sign up for some of her wonderful broadcasts. Now, each and every one of these are but a small bit of the wonderful resources that are available to us. And with each, we are giving thanks, and we are very grateful for the people who have found and founded specific niches which deal with the essence of our lives, physical, emotional, and spiritual. And as family caregivers, we need all the support we can give. Now, I told you that the program this morning was entitled Remembering Those on Whose Shoulders We Stand. While I was in Bali, I received two contacts, one from Dr. Faye Flemister and another from David Flemister, telling me that her husband, his father, Carl Flemister, the Reverend Dr. Carl Flemister, had passed into eternity. The last year has been a very difficult one, and since December, I'm told, Carl had been actually in hospice. Now, I want to share my thanks this morning for the Reverend Dr. Carl Flemister. He's a man known to many people all over the world. For me, he was the angel. He was the messenger who came to me and gave me my ministry 20 years ago. Yes, I had been ordained. Yes, I had been involved in the church world. But he is the one who came to me and invited me to create Care for the Family Caregiver, the program that is today thriving at Emblem Health. Carl was a noted clergy person, having served his denomination and frankly the world for many, many years. And after he retired, he became the chairman of the foundation at HIP Health Plan here in New York. Now, Carl and his wife, Faye, also Dr. Flemister, we were and have been and continue to be very good, close friends. And it was 20 years ago when Carl invited me to lunch. We often had lunch. And he began telling me about this new program that he wanted to begin at Emblem Health, bringing attention to the silent patients, the family caregivers. And I was excited by it. There was no question about that. But I didn't realize as we were talking that he was really asking me to become involved. And when I did, I said to him, "But Carl, I know nothing about insurance." He said, "You will learn." And I've been blessed to do that. But I did say to him, I said, "You know, Carl, this is so exciting because as a person of faith and a clergy person, I, at that time, and now it continues because it's been my ministry, but at that time I had already noted that, frankly, I had buried more caregivers than care recipients. And so began Care for the Family Caregiver at Emblem Health. And with it, a word I don't use when I'm at the foundation or when I'm dealing in the business world, but truly, it has been my ministry, and we are all the beneficiaries of it. For I was tasked with bringing awareness. That was the simple message. Awareness, I still have the yellow piece of paper on which we wrote it. The mission was to bring awareness and attention to family caregiving as an issue to the employees, to the members, and to the world at large. And so it began with HIP, which is now part of Emblem Health. And that work continues. And so it was very touching because I had had the privilege of being in Indonesia with Carl and Faye for another reason many years ago. And somehow to bid him farewell, to pray and to bless his name in Indonesia, a very spiritual and special place in my life, was extremely wonderful. He's at peace, and Faye and David, may you be surrounded by the thousands of people whose lives Carl touched. May each of us be a piece of the quilt of love that he so graciously and generously gave to all of us. May that quilt now surround you. I'm honored to be but one patch in that huge quilt of love. For his was a life of incredible giving, a ministry. He was a giant. He was a big man, but he was a gentle giant of love. And I shall never totally be able to express my gratitude. For it is Carl who gave me the ministry that we all know as family caregiving. And so I would like to read a prayer, one that I had written as part of Peace Be Still, and I dedicate it to Carl and to all of you. It begins with the quoting of a prayer that has been my favorite for a very long time. So let us all just take a moment to take a deep breath, to put aside all of the insanity of the world at the moment, to go within, where the divine resides within each and every one of us. Peace be still. O Lord, thank you for your gift, your promise that you will never leave us, no matter what is happening, no matter what the difficulty, no matter the situation. You are there. Your love surrounds me and all for whom I care. Underneath are the everlasting arms, and into those precious arms I surrender myself and my loved one. Together with you, we will walk forward. We will grow through each and every experience, knowing that you are with it through it all. We will trust and not be afraid, for you, Father God, Mother God, are ever near. All we need to do is close our eyes, take a deep breath, and reconnect with the precious gift of life, the breath of God with which we were born, and which moves on to you in our death. We claim your divine presence in life in every situation and circumstance, and all is well now and forevermore. Amen. There is a phrase, a writing that I want to end this portion with. Death takes the body, God takes the soul. Our minds hold memories, our hearts keep the love. Our faith lets us know we will meet again. And it is so. Each of us in life has many persons whom we wish to thank. They have blessed our life as Carl has mine, and it's important for us at a moment like this to take a moment to pause, to reflect, and to thank those who have blessed us, those who have been with us, those who have guided us, those who have led us in difficult moments, knowing that we are not alone. And we are so blessed by that. And we do give thanks. Let us also remember that as we are standing and doing and existing and ministering and serving by standing on the shoulders of others, may we too be shoulders for those who are yet to come. Ours is a small time. It is a small breath in eternity. But we stand on the shoulders of others, and may others stand on our shoulders. May we ever be ready to walk with, to answer, to support. For love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. But love isn't love until we give it away. And that is what is so important for each of us to remember. Now, as we conclude our program today, I want to end it with a very special prayer as well. It was one that I've used at my ordination. It's one that I've used with many people as they've been making their transitions. But it's also one that has been a powerful source of strength. And so I conclude with this prayer entitled Support. It's in the Peace Be Still book. Please join me. O Lord, support us all the day long until the shadows lengthen and the evening comes and the busy world is hushed and the fever of life is over and our work is done. Then in your mercy grant us a safe lodging and a holy rest and peace at the last. This prayer has blessed my life so many times. As I stood not knowing where to turn as a caregiver, I found rest in this prayer and strength for the changes that so often follow the point of culminated frustration. Knowing that point wherein a radical change occurs. Thank you, precious Lord, for such special prayers into which the circumstances of life breathe new meaning and greater understanding. Help us to treasure and to share with others the joy, the peace, and comfort that certain prayers have given us. May we bless as we too have been blessed. In your holy name and names, precious Lord, take my hand. Amen. Thank you for being with me this morning, Friday with the Rev, and I look forward to seeing you next Friday, live from New York. Friday with the Rev. God bless and have a wonderful week.